My name is Michael Imossan, and these are the poems I love. The first, Deist Hymn by Samuel Adeyemi. No one is born blasphemous. Every heathen I know once held chaplets dangling below their chest. Even I was cradled by a holy book, repeated the scriptures till they built 30s in my juvenile bones. But where have all the miracles fled? I grow older and faith mocks my lack. I say to my anguish, lose your grip, and another family member subtracts from me. Surely, faith walks inverted. I ask the heavens for my death, and the next morning still comes flowering with life. Elohim, crucify me. I have broken the churches into graves, carved the altars into tombstones of some forgotten god. All the crosses I tucked into my eyes melt before my old Bible. Even my worship is torture unto my tongue. As I begin in the name of the Father, a fire floods the pulpit of my mouth. Prayer searing a tongue that thirsts. Tell me again to supplicate, and I will ask him to first respond. Your mouthless God, my godless mouth. So I love this poem because of how it interrogates the complexities of piety, of religion, pointing to those gray areas that isn't always certain, where a promise is made to the pious that they would always be saved, but the pious prays and gets silence, and then there's no response to that, there's no answer to that. So this poem deals with such complexity, such dilemma of religion, of piety. So that's why I love it. It's a very audacious poem, as we can see from the end. Your mouthless God, my godless mouth. The next poem I'm going to read is Jakky Bankong-Obi's In the Years of Flower. In a year of flower, I confess, I cannot tell Sertium from gardenias in December's Ostermien. Tropical and perennial, their scourged stalks remind me, despite air, the fallowed field. The mud-caked river, long and drawn out, winter of snowed in meadows elsewhere. Still, praise the resilience of aloes, wild clerodendron, and the isorus, dendritic limbs, fingering the crusted and bare spine. Pistillate, through Hamilton's dolorous days. Wait until February thaws, grimmed eye, nestles, rangi, jatropha, and a scattering clementes from the waking gyre. The world, a slow-moving garden reveal. April sings in the muted tones of frangipanis and morning glories, all of it dewy with the sheen of first love. That bated breath, hum before the kiss, is May, a cold storm that breaks into June, just right. It sets everything blooming, lush and carpeting, green moss in cool meadows. I could lace forever in, but the jacaranda's bunting. What will be. Love's sweet blush, hectic as a flush of hydrangeas in July. Roses and calla lilies, roguing in their sultry mead. The humidity, a fecund domain. What riot of moths and bees will resist? To nectar, the honey and the honeycomb, the fall glow of August as the quiet reckoning of linear time. The harvest is a bouquet of posies, accents of celosia and jasmine, lanterna and queen of the night, tendrils of thread, winds on the heels of a crisp October, rumors of distant storms we have weathered, a climatic anticlimax we can tell. This time will be harder. To survive, they will have to go back, hunker down to sit, to bloom again, root. So I love this poem for its beauty, both structurally and contextually. The flowery of it, the fact that it represents the season and the times the flowers grow within that season so well. The details of the poem is so superb and extravagant, and I love it. And the next poem I'm going to read is Nothing by Vuong. This is a very long one. It's like a prose. So it's from his full-length collection, Time is a Mother. We are shoveling snow, this man and I, our bags coming closer along the drive. It's so quiet, every flake of my coat has a life. I used to cry in a genre no one read. What a joke, they said. On fire. There is no money in it. Son, they shouted, smoke from their mouths. But ghosts say funny things. when they are family. This man and I, we take what will vanish anyway and move it aside, making space. There's so much room in a person, there should be more of us in here. Traveler, who is inches away but never here. Are you warm where you are? Are you where you are? Something must come to this. In one of the rooms in the house, the man and I share, a loaf of rye is rising out of itself, growing lighter as it takes up more of the world. In humans, we call this aging. In bread, we call this proof. We're in our 30s now, and I rolled the dough just an hour ago, pushing my glasses up my nose with a flour-dusted palm as I reread, the hand-scrawled recipe given me by my man's grandmother, the one who, fleeing Stalin, bought a ticket from Vilnius to Dresden without thinking it would stop. It so happened, in Auschwitz, it was a town after all, where she and her brother were asked to get off by soldiers who whispered, keep moving, like boys leading horses through wheat fields in the night. How she passed the huddle coats, how some were headed down barbed-wired lanes, the smoke from our mouths rising as the man and I bend and lift in silence, the morning clear as one inside a snow globe. How can we know, with a house full of bread, that it's hunger, not people, that survive? He pours a bag of salt over the pavement. From where I am standing, it looks like light spilling out of him, like the dusty sun ray that found his grandmother's hand as she got back to the train. Her brother at her side, smoke from the engine blown across the faces outside, which soon fall back to pine forests, washed pastures, empty houses with full rooms. The man clutches his stomach as if shot. The light floods out of him. I mean you, because something must come of this. When the guard asked her grandmother if she was Jewish, she shook her head, half lying, then shook her back, a roll, begged the night before, tucked it in the guard's chest pocket. She didn't look back as the train carried her, newly 20, toward where I now stand, on a Sunday in Florence, Massachusetts, squinting at her faded scroll, sifts flour, then beat eggs until happy yellow. The train will reach Dresden, days before the sky is filled with fire bombers. Most smoke, a bullet or shrapnel, failing to find her. The brother under rubble, his name everywhere around her, like the snow falling on your face 40 years later, on December 2nd, 1984, while your mother carries you, alive on 3 hours, the few steps to the minivan where your grandmother, 60 now, crowns your head with her brother's name. Peter, she says. Peter, as if the dead could be called back into new stunned bones. The snow has started up again, widening the path as though nothing happened, but to leave like a bullet, to touch people with such intention, to be born going one way, toward everything alive, to walk into the world you never asked for and choose a place where your wanting ends. Which part of war do we owe this knowledge? It's warm in this house where we will die. You and I, let the stanza be one room. Then let it be big enough for everyone, even the ghost rising now from this bread we tear open to see what we have made of each other. I know we have been growing further apart, unhappy, but are full, that clearing snow and baking bread will not fix this. I know too, as I reach across the table to brush the leftover ice of your beard, that it's already water. It's nothing, you say, laughing for the first time in weeks. It's really nothing, and I believe you. I shouldn't, but I do. So I love this poem because of its prosaic nature, the story it tells, and the vulnerability in it. In fact, most of the best line for me in this poem is where it says, I used to cry in a genre no one read, because we are poets, and there's that widespread belief that no one reads poetry. And to continue writing in that genre that is said to be no one read genre is some kind of resilience that we have. And although I do not have the collection here to read the poem, I think this poem reminds me of Romeo Rogun's A Rose Staring Out of a Dream, because it says the same thing, almost the same thing, where Romeo says, I ask every poem, what will you offer me? What will you offer me? What is salvation? And I think it shares similar thematic preoccupation, and I love both poems. So thank you.